Hi everyone, Jesse here with etrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at, and I'll show you how to install the Roadmaster Universal Diode Wiring Kit on our 2025 Jeep Wrangler. There's going to be 5 main components to look into when setting up your vehicle to be flat-towed, starting with the base plate. That's going to be the structural mounting point for the towed vehicle to connect to the motorhome. And they connect through the second main component, which is going to be your tow bars. And that's just the physical link between the two. Then we have our safety cables here. These are here in case of a catastrophic disconnect. If anything here were to disconnect, these will be there to allow you to safely pull over to the side of the road. And we have our braking system. That's going to allow you to not only rely on the motorhome's brakes, but also the towed vehicle brakes, just to help you come to a safe, steady stop. And then we have our diode wiring. This is here to keep you safe and legal out there by sending a signal from the motorhome's taillights to the towed vehicle's taillights to allow all those to function properly. So that means turn signals, brake lights, and taillights. Diode wiring is going to be crucial to keep you safe and legal out there on the road by allowing other drivers to know what you're doing. When we install them, they're actually installed behind the taillight here, so it's going to be difficult to show you. But essentially, you're just tapping into your factory taillight wiring. And then those diodes are there to prevent any backfeeds or anything that can damage your factory wiring. Here at the front of the vehicle is where we tie in our 6-pole wiring. The 6-pole does not come with the kit, so you'll have to look into one or get the kit that has it included. We just have a nice metal one here because that's what our neighbor wanted. Also, the umbilical is not included with this kit, so this will be a good choice for you if you just purchased a new vehicle and you're looking to get that set up to flat tow, but you already have some of the other components. Really, that's about all there is to it. It's just one of those things that's absolutely crucial to get installed when setting up your vehicle to be flat towed. And as for that installation, it is a pretty lengthy process. You do have to run wires from the front of the vehicle to the back, and then you have to tie into some factory wiring. So I understand if that's not something you're looking to do yourself. Maybe you just don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so. Feel free to check out our dealer locator. You can find a shop local to you that would be willing to help you install this. If you have any more questions or concerns after watching this video, then please reach out to us by leaving a review or a comment. But otherwise, let's get into the installation video. I'll walk you through the whole process from start to finish. To start our installation, first you'll want to map out your mounting spot. I've already mounted up my bracket just because it took some tinkering, but I self-tapped the bracket here. And then I drilled a hole through our skid plate and I ran our wires through that hole, back behind the bumper, and then up behind our grill here to right about where the battery is. We really just need anywhere we can ground, so I found a factory ground here. Cut our white wire off, then I'll strip it from the rest of our wiring. I'll strip that back, put a ring terminal on it, and ground it off there. Once you have that grounded out, we will start running our other 3 wires back to our taillights. The routing is pretty simple with these Jeeps, so I just dropped it down from the engine bay. And then from there, we just followed the frame rail. We're actually up above this fuel tank, so it's going to be pretty difficult to see. But it comes out back here right above our rear axle. And once you get to this point, you'll want to separate your green wire from your yellow and brown. The green wire is going to go to the passenger side. The yellow and brown will go to the driver's side. So I tucked it up above that heat shield just to stay away from the hot exhaust. And it comes out here. And from this point, we'll need to pop our tail lights out so that we can get into the wiring behind it. Removing our tail lights is a pretty simple process. You'll just need a plastic trim tool. And we'll have to get under this plastic panel here. And once you have one clip released, you should be able to pull it up, set that aside. Then there is a 10mm spring nut or spring bolt. Take that off. And then you can simply pull your taillight assembly straight back. We'll flip it around. You have to unplug it, so pull that red locking tab up, push in on the pin, and separate the plugs, then set it aside. We'll do the same thing with the other side taillight. Cut this electrical tape and peel some back just so you can work with the wires. And then we need to test our wires, find out which one does what. I already did that with a test light. I just went through, turned the taillights on, found out that our white and gray wire here, the thicker white and gray, there is a thinner one in there, but the thicker white and gray wire is our taillight signal. This yellow wire will be our brake light signal. So those are the two factory wires that we'll plug into on the driver's side. I'll just cut them in a good spot where I can, where I have enough slack to play with, strip them back. And then we'll need to crimp on one of these spade terminals on both sides, and we'll do that with the yellow wire also. Ran up our brown wire and our white wire. As I said, that white wire is going to be our jumper between the taillights. So what I did was, there is one yellow spade terminal. I twisted the two wires together and crimped them both into that. That's going to go into the in on one of our diodes. And that's our taillight signal. So if you remember from earlier, that was our white and gray. So this spade terminal that's farther away from the plug will also go into the in. And the end closest to our plug will go into the out. Similar concept with our yellow wires, which yellow is our left turn and brake signal for the car, and with our 6-pole wiring. So plug those in, and then the plug closest, or the wire closest to the plug, goes into the out. Same thing on the passenger side, just our colors are a little bit different. So that green wire that we sent over here, that plugs into this kind of lime green color wire. That's our turn and brake. And then the taillight signal, which is just going to be the white wire on this side, is this white and red wire here. So make sure you plug those in with the wires furthest from the plug into the in, and then the ones closer to the plug in the out. Now we're ready to make our connections to our 6-pole. As you can see, I've already made most of my connections. I'll just tell you what colors go where. So green, that's our right turn. That's going to go to R. Brown is our taillight signal. That's going to be T, or some of them will have it marked TM. White is our ground. That's going to go to G. Some are marked GD. And we did add a charge line. That's our red line. That goes to the center post. But we'll finish it up with our yellow. It's going to be our left turn. So to get these installed, you'll just want to back off the Phillips head screw. Just back it off enough to get your wire in. Insert your wire, and then tighten that down. Get it nice and snug. And whenever I make that connection, I'll always give it a tug, make sure it's nice and secure. Now we've hooked up our tester just to make sure everything is functioning before we button it all up. You could also hook up to your RV or whatever's more convenient. I'll just turn on the tail lights. Left turn, brake lights, and right turn. Now that we know everything's functioning properly, I'd just recommend to cover all of your connections with silicone to make sure any water doesn't get in there. But other than that, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the Roadmaster diode kit on our 2025 Jeep Wrangler.